The UK has found a cheaper way to deal with the housing crisis. The so-called bedroom tax means many who live in social housing would either lose around 14% of their benefits if they have a spare room or move out. RT's Polly Boyko looks at how the less well-off are trapped in a catch-22.
Hiya.
Brian Ryder didn't ask for a two-bedroom flat when he applied for emergency accommodation. It was what the council gave him. It was meant to be temporary, and he's now lived here for 14 years.
It's my home. I've made it my home. We've done all the work in the front room. We've put the wood panelling on the walls. We in fact stopped decorating halfway through when we realised that I might have to move because I couldn't afford it. And what's the point of decorating when I won't be here to appreciate it? But yeah, it's my home now. I've made it mine, and it will upset me to move out.
But Brian, who suffers from osteoporosis and can't work, has little choice. The government's so-called bedroom tax comes into effect from April 1st. 640,000 social housing tenants with at least one spare room either have to cough up the cash from their already stretched budgets or move.
Over here is Brian's bedroom. According to the government, this flat is now officially under-occupied. That's because he's also got this spare bedroom. And as a result, he's going to have to fork out £50 from his housing benefit every month in order to pay for it.
That's money that Brian needs to put towards food and heating. So he's willing to downsize in order to avoid losing the money he so desperately needs. But he's been told that there are no available properties.
I asked them 4 times. Once was about 6 months ago for a move into a one-bedroom. Every time I've been told they can't move me into one bedroom.
Nevertheless, Westminster says the £23 billion housing benefit bill needs to be slashed.
People are being told they should move to a smaller flat, but in my constituency there are fewer than 100 places people could move to, and that's fairly typical across the country as a whole. If you can't move to a smaller property, you can't avoid it. You just have to pay the money, and you're left with very, very little, and that just does seem very unfair. The government is saying they won't have a tax on big mansions, but they are having a bedroom tax on the poorest people in the country.
The Department for Work and Pensions declined to comment on the controversial policy. The impending changes have caused such widespread concern that the government announced that parents of those serving in the armed forces, foster carers and parents of severely disabled children will now be exempt from the changes. As for the rest,
Everybody in this situation is being backed into a corner.
And until the council finds him a smaller flat, Brian will have to take the financial hit.
I haven't had any suggestions from any of them about what to do if the money does run out and I find it hard to do, which I will do. Now I realise it's happening, now it's coming closer. It's a case of I have no choice in the matter. It has been and is getting even more stressful the closer we get to the date because I just don't know what I'm going to do.
With what many are calling Black April fast approaching, critics say it's those with the least that are being hit the hardest. Polly Boyko, RT, Kidderminster.